My name is Emily and I lost 60 pounds and carries on with my best life. My weight issues started in my late adolescent years. Preceding that, I would go through periods of attempting to eat strongly or working out, yet I never truly needed to stress over my weight. Notwithstanding, as I kicked more established and off encountering misfortune and genuine pressure, I began going to Nourishment for passionate solace. Covering my feelings in solace food sources and an excessive number of excursions through the inexpensive food drive-through brought about my weight going up. So I began checking calories and eating low-fat food varieties to lose the weight. Be that as it may, confining my calories and food decisions just brought about the yearnings getting more grounded, so definitely, I would surrender and go the other limit, gorging on every one of the food varieties I had considered forbidden on my eating routine. I went through 15 years on the yo-yo diet rollercoaster. I was in every case either on a careful nutritional plan or off an eating routine. What's more, being off an eating regimen implied eating all that I might actually consider, and however much I needed, until I got the inspiration to begin another eating routine arrangement. Of course, this solitary brought about increasingly more weight acquire and less expectation that I could at any point discover the solution to my weight issue. A defining moment. At 31 years of age, 5'3" and 180 pounds, I ended up at the heaviest load of my life. My several eating regimen endeavors were pointless except if I went above and beyond juice fasting and extraordinary exercise. I sensed that I was battling against my body and I just couldn't appear to lose any weight. I was persuaded that each one of those long stretches of yo-yo counting calories had at last wrecked my digestion like everybody said it would, and possibly my body simply wasn't fit for getting in shape any longer. I had basically surrendered any expectation of truly feeling content with my body and thought possibly I just needed to surrender to being overweight. In any case, for reasons unknown, I chose to attempt once again. On an arbitrary Wednesday, I was attempting to choose what drive-through joint to go to for lunch, however nothing sounded great. I recollected that I had some chicken and salad blend in my ice chest and concluded I would simply make a plate of mixed greens. In past diet endeavors, I generally arranged my beginning date early so I could gorge on every one of the awful food sources the prior night. However, this time, it wasn't arranged, it simply happened normally. I had effectively eaten a toaster oven baked good for breakfast that morning, yet as opposed to concluding I should begin my eating regimen the following morning, I just chose to settle on a solid decision for lunch like it was not a problem. That evening, I had a late class and had effectively made an arrangement to get a hamburger and French fries on my way home. In any case, without a second to spare, I concluded I would stop someplace for a taco salad, all things being equal. The following morning, I concluded that since I was at that point settling on better decisions, I would begin following my calories and carbs in MyFitnessPal just to see where I was. From that point, I put forth a cognizant attempt to keep my calories and carbs low. Keto to the salvage. I had followed low carb counts calories commonly before. I commonly ate low carb and low fat since I figured that was the smartest possible solution regarding abstaining from excessive food intake, and how should it not work? Spoiler alert, it didn't. However, eventually through online exploration about other low carb counts calories, I occurred across the keto diet. I generally had it in the rear of my psyche, however never endeavored to keep my carbs that low. This time around, I concluded I should check it out. I began tallying calories and kept my net carbs at 20 or underneath. At that point I found an online keto calculator and utilized it to figure my macros. I chose if I planned to make this last endeavor to get thinner, I planned to go hard and fast and ensure I was doing everything right so that in the event that it didn't work, I would realize it wasn't because of absence of exertion. Rapidly I saw a distinction from past weight reduction endeavors. I didn't know whether it was the higher fat or the lower carb, however I wasn't feeling greedy like I ordinarily did on counts calories. Food sources like bread or French fries may have sounded great, yet I didn't feel like I required them. This was an entirely different encounter. After a long time after week, my desires lessened and my yearning was significantly diminished. I normally began discontinuous fasting before I even understood what that was, on the grounds that I simply wasn't ravenous when I woke up in the first part of the day. So I step by step began pushing my first feast of the day later and later until I wasn't eating breakfast until late in the early evening. The weight got going consistently and my expectation of having the body I needed was being re-established. Working out. I generally had a win or bust way to deal with working out before, however, this time I needed to do it such that I could keep up. I was burnt out on being on the eating routine roller coaster, so I realized I expected to sort out something that would be economical long haul. Additionally, I had totally changed the manner in which I was eating and the fuel my body was utilizing for energy, so I needed to relax and permit my body to adjust. I began simply strolling on the treadmill and gradually sped up in distance throughout the next few months. I have discovered that weight reduction is essentially diet, so I confided in keto to do the vast majority of the work. That permitted me to not squeeze myself to consume each calorie I could at the exercise center. All things being equal, I figured out how to utilize the rec center as an opportunity to re-energize, and I began to make the most of my exercises much more. Good and bad times. Shedding pounds is once in a while straight, so I've had a lot of weeks in my excursion where I didn't lose any weight. It's difficult to step on the scale following 7 days of trying sincerely and not get results. Be that as it may, our bodies are astounding things and we never entirely understand what's happening in there. To battle that mistake, I began taking month-to-month progress pictures. This truly assisted me with seeing the enhancements I made when the scale wasn't collaborating, and it has been amusing to return and perceive how my body changed over the long haul. It very well may be difficult to train yourself on any eating regimen, exercise schedule, or way of life change by and large. Furthermore, keto is the same. I unquestionably have days where it feels testing to stay with this method of eating. It takes a great deal of work and obligation to cook practically the entirety of your suppers, search for new plans to hold back from getting exhausted, and look for the entirety of your fixings. Following a distressing day of work, some of the time I have a feeling that I need to tap out and request a pizza. In any case, the physical and passionate inclination I get from eating ketogenically and being okay with my body prevents me from doing that. It simply isn't awesome. Eating those food varieties in the past never fulfilled me, and I never need to return to how I felt previously. The promising culmination of current circumstances. 10 months into my keto excursion and I feel astounding. I have shed 57 pounds and outperformed my objective weight. I truly never thought it was workable for me to be at this weight again. I had everything except surrendered any expectation of being content with my body. However, I'm grateful to the point that I chose to give it one final take a stab at that Wednesday evening. Thus cheerful, I discovered the keto method of eating. I feel a great deal more positive about my regular daily existence now. I don't feel like I'm stowing away underneath my weight any longer. What's more, that by itself is my inspiration to continue going. I'm keto forever. Tips and deceives. My greatest counsel to anybody needing to begin the keto diet is to focus on at any rate a month without any cheats. The objective is to starve those sugar and carb longings so they disappear. Be that as it may, on the off chance that you are continually having a cheat to a great extent, you are keeping them alive and simply making it harder on yourself. The way to me having the option to stay with this method of eating was the way that my longings and my yearning lessened to such an extent. I not, at this point, felt like food had control over me. So you truly need to limit those carbs reliably with the goal that your body can switch over to consuming fat for fuel. Whenever you have submitted, get energized. There is such a lot of incredible food to be had on keto. Try not to zero in on the thing you will be surrendering, yet take a gander at all the extraordinary choices you have. There are so numerous keto plans accessible for basically anything you might be needing. So as opposed to cheating, put in some additional exertion and investigation with approaches to keto FY your number one food sources. Take it step by step. It tends to be overpowering to begin, yet you should simply ensure you stay under your macros today. And afterward, do it again tomorrow. What's more, the following day. Also, before you know it, you will be seeing some extraordinary outcomes. At last, flawlessness is the adversary of progress. You don't need to be great. You simply must have more great days than awful. What's more, in particular, don't surrender. You will arrive in the event that you simply continue to attempt. Furthermore, something more, take a preceding picture. You will cherish having the option to glance back at it and perceive how far keto has taken you.